Hello everyone, it's me Ash here on Nerd Life, and as you can see I'm in the compounds, the Esh, what is it called? Campus, that's it, the Esh campus here on the Feed the Beast server, and today we are continuing our journey into Railcraft, the long journey of Railcraft. Good grief, it's taken 4 episodes just to get to this point. Last episode we started the track guide where we go through each track type and tell you what it does. And then it jumps up from there to the next tracks, which is the high speed tracks. So essentially there are 3 tiers of tracks. You got your wooden track, you got your standard track, and then you got your high speed track. Now there are other tracks like reinforced tracks, stuff like that, but those are your basics. And obviously, if I hit E here and go to my not enough items, you can see that the tracks that look like stone tracks or regular tracks but have the yellow line in them, those are high-speed tracks. And you can tell when you go over them, they say HS, and then you can see that each track has a high-speed version of itself. So all the stuff that you learned in the last episode can apply to these tracks. Then you have these reinforced tracks, which are used with tungsten, which is fairly rare. So you don't want to really worry about them too much. But yeah, you can see actually these tracks here on the very bottom are the perfect example of what you should look at if you're trying to figure out what kind of tracks there are in terms of tiers. Obviously, you've got your regular track, which is what you're probably going to be working with now until you get enough materials to build yourself a blast furnace, which is what we're going to do today. Then you have a wooden track, which is actually slower. Then you have the reinforced track, and then you have a high-speed track. And visually, this tells you what they each have a certain look that you can sort of tell them apart. But today, what we're going to do is we're going to start building the high-speed tracks. And the reason you need a blast furnace. That's the first thing we're going to go over now. What I have here in my hand is 48 blast furnace bricks. I've actually already built a blast furnace. It's in our little subway, and we'll go down there and look at it. We'll also build a second one with these bricks. I think we have enough for another one. Okay, so what we have here is the rolling machine. We've been here before. We needed this for the first set of tracks, didn't we? Okay, so basically the reason we need a blast furnace is because we need steel. And we're also going to need the rolling machine. So actually, let's turn it on and get it heated up. The engine's going. While we do that, we're going to go over here and some dead zombie. We're going to head down into our subway. And look what we have here. We have a blast furnace. Now that you got the coke ovens, then we got a blast furnace. As you can see, it's 1 brick taller than the coke oven, so you're going to need to make sure you have enough space, first of all. It's got the same basic building concept, though. You're going to have the top and the bottom layer just going to be a flat layer of bricks. In this case, the blast furnace bricks. If you need to know how to make these, this is the really intense way to make them. You get 4 from 4 nether brick, 4 soul sand, and a magma cream. The magma cream is going to be the hardest part to get. There's the alternative down here, but really it's not going to save you any time or materials, as you can see. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to build this up so it's 4 blocks high. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, so we got 4 blocks high, and then we're going to fill in the top layer just like we filled in the bottom layer. So the bottom and top are completely solid, as you can see. And then we're going to leave these 2 middle bricks hollow. So instead of having 1 hollow brick in the middle over the coke oven, you're going to have 2 hollow bricks in the middle for the blast furnace. And boom, you got the window at the bottom that's going to show you when it's cooking. And you got yourself a blast furnace. Now what you want to do with this thing is make steel, essentially. So we'll go ahead and look at steel. Steel. Now, all these should say blast furnace on them. All it is cooking iron, basically. Anything with iron in it will cook into steel. If you have things you can recycle into steel, etc., Basically, it's a 1-for-1 trade-off for iron ingot for a steel ingot, using charcoal, coal, coal coke, whatever the case is. We should have some coal coke over here. 36 of them. So we can stick our coal coke in. And then we don't have any iron, but we might... Nope, no, we can't. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook a few things of iron over here with this coal dust, unfortunately. Coal dust does not work. Okay. We'll go and get some of this coal coke. And pop it in there and cook this stuff up. Don't want to use a whole lot of that. I'm going to save it. So this, the entire purpose basically of this blast, and you can do other stuff with it, but it's all for making this steel ingots so that you can make the high-speed rails. Okay, we got 2. We'll go ahead and make a few of them. As you can see, coal coke is a very high performance rating. It's barely gone down on this one, and it's already made 4 of these ingots. We'll take those. Now, this is just the first step of making a high-speed rail. So that's how intense the Railcraft mod is. This is step number 1 of making a high-speed rail. After that, you have to put the steel ingots in to the pattern for it, which also cost 3 of these blaze powders, which you can get from the blazes in the nether, and 3 gold ingots, and then obviously where these bricks are will be the steel. So the steel, you'll have 3 steel, 3 blaze powders, and 3 gold ingots. And if you go to the recipe, that didn't work, did it? Railcraft. Okay. If you go to the track, then you go to the high-speed rail. It makes 6, and you have to use the rolling machine. It's not awful, I guess, because you get 6, but it isn't amazing either. But you do get a much better product than what you're using right now, which is the standard tracks. Now, if you look at these, it's all about the same in terms, only the difference is you're going to be using a stone rail bed, whereas in this you're using a wooden rail bed. So, not a big deal, for the stone rail bed, you're going to get stone ties, which will use rebar, which is, it's intimidating at first until you realize you can actually just use iron in a rolling machine to make them. It's not too bad. You can also use steel if you have a surplus of steel. You can use refined iron to make double the amount, which is what I recommend. Not double, but 2 more. If you use refined iron, which all you have to do is take the iron you're already going to use and bake it so that it turns into refined iron, and then you get 2 more for free, basically, just for time spent. That's all you're really putting in extra. So I do recommend using the refined iron recipe. It's the best one that you could probably use, unless you're just on a time crunch. Now, as you can see, this is fairly slow. So what we're going to do, actually, it's almost done with the 3rd one. It should be done with the 3rd one by the time we get back, and then we can actually make our 3rd steel and make our first set of... No. They thought they could kill me, but they didn't realize I was Ash. There we go. Okay. So we're gonna put our extra stuff away with the rest of our stuff that we've collected. Spatter on the roof. Spatter on the roof. And we are gonna start cooking. Oh, we've got 3 of these. We'll take those out. Come here. And we'll take a stack of iron out. Take a look at what's going on in here. We got a stack of iron already in there. Dang. Okay, we'll go ahead and cook some of those up. Put these back. Oh, jeez. Let me kill the indiscretions. What the hell, dude? that guy was mean. Come on, Spider. Come on up. Bet you didn't know you were going to be learning how to be a badass in this tutorial as well, did you? No, you didn't know. No one knew. Anyway, okay. Gets 9, that's fine. Yeah, that's good. Now let's put it in the rolling machine, like so. Cook it, and might as well. Why not? Okay, we've got 6. And if you don't know how to use the rolling machine, basically this is the heat. I guess you could call it heat. It's really power units, Minecraft joules. These engines are on either side pumping in power. It will not use the last layer of items unless you click on it. So note that is why it's probably not working if you're trying to do it with one set of them. It'll cook everything until the last layer, which it sort of sees as a like a layout, sort of like a blueprint of what you want to make. Come on, guys. I got shit to do. I don't have time for your shenanigans. Seriously? Seriously? Jesus. William and David. That's what I call those doors. They're being sons of bitches right now. Okay, so we've got 4 steel ingots now. We've got 4 steel ingots. We've got 40 gold. We don't have a lot of gold. This is literally all the gold that I have in my... Goddamn spiders. Fucking everywhere. Get the hell out of here. I put that ridge on this roofs for a reason. It seemed to be stopping them. Maybe it's because it's the stair block. I don't know. Okay. So what you do here is you take your gold, like so. You take your blaze powder, like so. Blaze powder isn't super hard to get. Make sure you're decked out to the nines with all your gear, your combat gear, and you're ready to fight when you go for them, because you're gonna have to fight not just through to blazes, but you're gonna also have to deal with like wither skeletons, normal skeletons, zombie pigmen, etc. They're bastards. Let me just say, it's a bastard to get this stuff. Okay, so let's go back to our recipe for the high-speed rail. Stone tie. So you're going to use stone slabs with the rebar above it, which is why we made the rebar. Maybe I didn't explain that. Do I still have stone in my inventory? I think I actually put the stone that I had in the subway chest. Nighttime here in the Ash compound is serious business, let me just say. Okay, so what was I doing? Oh yeah, getting the stone out of this. Yes, we have 62 stone slabs. Probably the easiest thing to make in the whole process is the slabs. Okay, so let's see. 1, 2, 3, and then we've got actually, where's the rebar? Rebar 1. There we go. Make 18 of them with all the rebar that we had. And we actually had some stone slabs in here already. Okay, so actually we have some advanced rails already? No, those aren't the same. Those aren't the same. Okay, high-speed rails, 6 of them. That's what we have now. We have 18 stone ties. We should be able to make at least 1 set. Oh, we didn't make the bed yet. We didn't make the bed yet. Okay. Make the bed, like so. Might as well use all of them. What else are we going to use them for? Put them in the middle. Voila! You got 16 high-speed tracks. And to test them out, to see just how good they are, we're going to get our crowbar out, pull up some of these tracks. That's good. Take this out. We'll put them like so. We'll go ahead and take this boarding track out, just so the booster track gets all of it. And that's not what we want, is it? There we go. Okay. So we're going to put away some of these tracks. Keep that one. Pick these up off the ground. Now we're going to get our mine part. And we're going to let it go. Again, if you want to know what any of these tracks do, go check out the last episode of this. And actually, oh, much better, much better. Hello. There he is. There he is. And as you may not have noticed, it's not a huge change, to be honest. But it is if you've worked with the other tracks a lot, which I'm sure by this point you have. If you worked with these standard tracks, then you know that that is much, much improved over what the resistance was. It's just so much faster and smoother. Less slowdown, runs for longer. It's much better overall. So you definitely want to work at this over time and work at replacing it. Save up all the materials you're going to need until you have the blast furnace, and then you'll be able to make a ton of these tracks and just improve your entire rail system by a lot. Just efficiently. Makes it faster, much better. So, until next time, this has been Ash here, showing you some more Railcraft. Play on, players. Oh, yes, and if you have any questions while you're playing on as players, be sure to ask in the comments, and I'll get back to you and get you some answers. Until next time.